if I was Mark Zuckerberg, I want my, I was a manager. I wanted my people to be happy. Like when I had to demand things of them that were uncomfortable, most of the time I was like, nah, I won't do that. Like, and
But you
it
have
leads
to.
to bloated costs, and it leads to, yeah, just not being
Yeah.
as effective as you could be. And that's
Yeah.
part of what Elon does. He's like, no, actually, what I demand from you is maximum effectiveness. And
Exactly.
I'm going to hold your butt to the flame that we are going to get maximum effectiveness.
And he's unrelenting from that perspective. That's what's
Yeah.
that is exactly Elon. That yeah, I think, but I'm pretty sure
Mhm.
we're correct in this case. That's that
Well, I
is the
mean, watching
brilliance
what's
of
going on at
Elon.
Twitter would confirm that.
Yeah,
Like, he's,
yeah.
he's not taking a different approach now that he's there than he was
Dude,
before.
I was so excited to see that come to fruition because I'm like, I was harping on this. Wait to see until people see how it actually is to innovate quickly. It's
Mhm.
crazy. It's crazy, but it's way uncomfortable. Like you said, like it's not people in their minds have I think are they think that a culture of innovation that moves really quickly and it builds incredible things is like this rainbow road, right? It's not. It
Mhm.
sucks really bad. It hurts. But no one is forcing those people to be there. Those people
Yep.
are there on their own volition. Like they're there because they want to be there. And if they're there not wanting to be there, no one's forcing them to stay. They can leave at any point.
Mhm.
So like people are conflating this like idea that for some reason when you're like working your ass off, working as hard as humanly possible to make something happen, people are like, wow, slave driver, fucking Elon's such a terrible person.
Mhm.
It's like, no, these people want to be there. And Elon's like, okay, you want to be here? You sure? Yep. Okay, here you
Mhm.
go. This is what it's
Yep.
like.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's,
not sorry.
no one, it is an important
You
distinction.
know?
Like, a slave doesn't have the option to go home and do something else. And this is a
Exactly.
free market. And you can go home and you can do something else.
It's
And,
wild.
if you were to poll the people that work for him, the majority of them, and, it's not going to be 100%. There's going to be
Of
some
course
people that
not.
feel like, oh, I don't want to be here. But the majority of them will not only say, yes, I want to be here, they'll be like, I have never done anything that is this hard and this cool and this fun all at the same time. Like,
Yeah,
fuck no, you can't get me out of here.
exactly. And it
And
sucks,
that's why I'm
but I
here
still want to
80
do
to
it.
120 hours a week instead of
Exactly.
40, because you literally can't drag me out of here.
Exactly. It's crazy. Like it's wild, but that's what it takes. That's what it takes, you know?
Mhm.
Um the insane thing is that Elon himself hasn't moved away from that type of culture because I think in his head like he knows from a first principle standpoint this is how to get maximal results is to never waver from this culture and he can't physically be subject to entropy because his brain will not allow him because his brain is like well but this is not the maximal way to produce a great
Mhm.
result so like to him it's illogical because we know he's also on the spectrum like folks like are they're
Yeah.
incredibly logical in their approach and so like it does it hurt him emotionally physically like to his soul I'm sure it does but it was his brain's like no you can't this is crazy like you can't do this no you have to be
And I don't even
maximally
think
efficient.
that he likes being that, like, he recognized that about himself, and he doesn't
Yeah, he
necessarily
doesn't like it.
like the way that
Yeah,
that is, or the way that it feels all the time. He's like, "It sucks doing all these things that I don't really wanna do." Like, I'm not a
yeah,
masochist, but I, like, can't not, I'm obsessive about
yeah,
not being able to, yes, and man, the fact that the way that he identifies problems is like, okay, once a problem is so big, like I can't not do something about it. And like I have
yeah.
such limited time. And so I just
It's
have to
wild.
be incredibly efficient about solving that problem in the best way. And then, yeah, so intelligent to be able to figure out what those best ways actually are over
Yeah.
and over and over again.
But honestly, I think here's the deal. I think the problem solving and intelligent aspect of him getting to those solutions is less impressive than his ability to fight entropy, because fighting the entropy is what allows him to be in that state of mind constantly. Like he seems to be in flow state all the time because he literally can't do anything else, I think, in his head. Like it doesn't allow him to be outside of that flow state, you know? But it's like, imagine anybody. Like, I honestly don't think, obviously he's brilliant. He's very, very smart, but I think his problem solving skills are probably much closer to the regular person than most people realize. Is that he pushes through the pain and pushes through the distractions because he just cannot stop focusing. So it's a question of focus. So if you're really
Mhm.
focused on something, I really believe anybody can fight it. But a lot of us are mere mortals. So is he, but he just is willing
Mhm.
to. He can't help himself but to go through those things, right? And that's what's like. I wish I could talk to the guy for like in one of our panels, right? Like if I have him for three
Yeah.
hours, bro, like I'd be like, I'm like, this is the kind of stuff I would try to pick his brain on. Like, yeah, you're smart, obviously, but like, talk to me about pain. Talk to me about
Yeah.
your focus levels. Talk to me about like, I'll put him in so many different situations. Be like, how would you handle this? How would you handle this? How would you handle this? You know, like, and I think that the lessons we will learn from that would be like, wow, okay, so and again, I'm not saying he's not smart. He's obviously smart. We'll be like, wow, he's actually way more like a regular person that we expected. It's just his um ability to focus on something super, super, super hard is really his superpower. And his, like you said, the ability to fight entropy all the time and then ensuring everyone gets held accountable to that same standard is truly what allows him to build what he does. And is that a thing that can be learned? Is that a thing that, is Elon the first one or one of the very first ones that are able to do that, that we can study, and maybe more people are willing to do that and adopt that sort of methodology for building things? Who knows? It's a very interesting
Yeah.
use case, and it's wild, dude. And this Twitter thing is going to be insane. Like people are going to see it
Yeah.
firsthand. This is just the beginning. It's going to be freaking wild. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I am so excited to see it. I really am.
Yeah. I think, I was making this comment on Twitter, I think it was yesterday, that we're gonna see some very, very interesting takes in the not too distant future where people are basically just going back and digging up tweets from this whole thing and telling the story of, wow, like Harvard Business School case study, this is how you make a transformation. They
Yep.
shipped 30 times more project or product updates to Twitter in a year than in the entire previous history of
2
the
months, bro.
company. And yeah, like it's going to be insane. And I
Yeah.
think it will, yeah, when people realize, because, you know, this pace of innovation is what they do at Tesla, but the customer can't necessarily see all the things that are going on underneath the hood of their car. And maybe they don't appreciate it. Like we've had to do a lot of research and exposing ourselves to a lot of content. Like you have to go watch Joe Justice, you have to go watch Sandy Monroe, you have to talk to engineers, you have to do a lot of investigation to understand, holy crap, like this is 100%, like, go watch Autoline, this is 100% different than any other company makes a car,
Yep.
and they're just on a completely different playing field in terms of the speed with which they move. Twitter's not that, like, everyone can see it's going to be out in the open in public, all these changes, and it's going to be messy, and people are not going to like the way that like the public is now going to get to experience the messiness of the transit. Like
Exactly.
there's no such thing as transformation without pain. And so like all of the users of Twitter are going to get to experience and
Yeah. It's gonna be chaos.
yeah, suffer through all of that. But then it's like as it becomes more and more and more and more what it's going to be, and become super useful and invaluable. I mean, there are so many things that we use all the time that we're like, we crap on them, but we still use them. Like, I
Exactly.
hate Google having all my data, but I still do everything in Google. Like,
Jeff Bezos
it's
is
still
a
my search
jackass.
engine.
Oh my
Yep.
god,
I
Amazon's
buy
here.
all my stuff from Amazon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Fuck Jeff Bezos and his yachts. Ding dong. Oh my god, my shirt's here. Literally, literally every time. You know what's the other
Yeah.
thing too with like if you compare Tesla and SpaceX to Twitter, that's correct. Like you have to go under the hood literally to find out the changes, but it's also a physical thing. It requires a supply chain. And as fast as you want to move, supply chains ain't built overnight, bro. Like they take
Yep.
forever. It's so hard. Twitter's software, it's
Yeah.
code. Like, yeah. And it's outward facing. So you get a double whammy. You're going to get everyone to see how the quote unquote sausage is made. And then it's also going to change even faster than they thought, but not really. It's software versus physical, like hardware.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, yeah, dude. I'm so excited. I'm so pumped.
Yeah.
I have wonder, like, wow, like did the universe push me to like leave Tesla when I did so that I can get my chops up as a content creator so that when Elon buys Twitter, I can be one of the first ones to leverage that platform to embark
Hmm.
that journey. You know, because now I got some chops. Like I know what it means to be a content creator somewhat. I know what people are look for. I know how to like talk in front of a camera now. I got a microphone in my face. Now when they, flip on their creator tools in Twitter, I got this tool set. I'm gonna freaking go at it like I would at Tesla or at Twitter or whatever. And now I feel like that's going to be
Hmm.
like it seems. This is why I think I'm the luckiest person in the world because I can't tell you how many times these paths have shown themselves to me that I'm like, obviously that's the path I got to go on. Obviously. And maybe I got to give myself credit for like going on those paths and maybe identifying those paths. But like those paths have been there for me so many times. And that's luck. Like that has to be luck. It has to be luck. Um, but that's happened to me so many times. Yeah. But I give myself a lot of credit for capitalizing. I'm a
Yeah.
if there's one skill set I have, I think that's maybe unique to me, is that I seem to be good at capitalizing on opportunities. And I'm always looking for opportunities. Always. Always, always, always.
There's this super confusing phrase that comes up in the New Testament a bunch of times that uh and different people use it. It says, "To he who has, more will be given, and to he who does not have, even what he has will be taken away." And it's like, okay, what the heck? That's messed up. And what are you saying? But I think the older I get and the more I observe the world, my takeaway is that it's a compounding thing.
Mm,
That if you see an opportunity and you take it, like basically that there's opportunities around us all the time. And if you see one and you put yourself into it and you take advantage of it to the best of your ability, then you'll be able to see the next one a little bit better. And you'll have a little bit more understanding of how you need to apply yourself to take advantage of it. And then a
mm,
little bit more, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit
mm-hmm,
more. And it is just this compound thing that
mm,
eventually you'll be in the right place at the right time. It's like that overnight success story that was 10 years in the making. Like
exactly.
those opportunities are around us all the time, but you need to be prepared when they come with the right ability to see the opportunity, the right tool set to be able to take advantage of the opportunity, and then the wherewithal to be able to focus on it and apply your energy in that direction.
Yep.
And you get those things by taking advantage of little opportunity after little opportunity
Yep.
after little opportunity. And then on the flip side, if you're the type of person who maybe you have resources, but you don't understand how to see opportunity and take advantage of it, you'll lose a little bit and then you'll move in a new direction and you'll lose a little bit more and you'll move in a new
Yep.
direction, you'll lose little bit more and it'll
Yeah.
just continue to spiral down and down. And then eventually you won't have anything because you don't know how to create positive value with what's in front of you.
Sounds like Jesus was great at investing.
I'd say so.
He was, but it makes so much sense. It makes so much sense, and it's so true. Like um, it's almost like part of risk taking. Like to embarking on like viewing an opportunity. I think a lot of people view opportunities, but it's the lens that they're viewing it through. I think it's oftentimes people view things through a lens of fear or risk, Whereas if you just switch your lens and view it from a standpoint of opportunity and a new
Mhm.
journey and something that could be fun, breaks you away from your comfort zone, it could show itself to be a great path. At the very least, it will be a confirmation of what you don't like. So that's it. Like that's the kind of
Mhm.
lens I think if you view stuff through, then like you said, like you look around and be like, holy shit, boy, can I do a lot. Like I can do a lot.
Mhm.
Like the one analogy that I draw is like, okay, like I'm trying to put myself in a situation where I'm not as fortunate as I am now. And say I'm in the middle of one of the worst cities in the world, crappy situation, but say I have the wherewithal to identify opportunities, right? So what would I do? I would work enough to get myself a bus ticket and get the hell out of there. That in itself is an opportunity. You live in a country or in a city that offers buses that you can buy a ticket for relatively affordably to get yourself out of the situation to start a journey. But then, like, how do we get people to learn that and to break them away from maybe there's like a lot of stuff that has happened in their life that doesn't allow them to view that opportunity and frame it in that perspective? Like, this is the start potentially of an incredible journey. But all you got to do is like get on that bus. That's the first step. And different people have different steps that they can take. And depending where you grew up and how you lived your life, you have
Mhm.
different starting points. That's luck. That's what luck is. But taking that first, like identifying what that real first step is and then moving like forward is transformational. But it's very hard to like define a transformational step for somebody else. It's I think fixing or like correcting the lens by which some of these folks view the world through could be that first step. Is like let's see if we can change the lens, and then once they view the world through that lens, then everything is an opportunity. You know, and it's just a matter of like, are you just willing to do it? Maybe I'm simplifying it too much, but
Mhm.
I don't know.
I
Yeah,
think that's a lot of hard-won wisdom arrives at that place, but it's I think it is a difficult journey for a lot of people
for
to
sure.
get to that point where they realize that
Yeah,
they
and I
just got to
recognize
make
it,
a
man.
change. Yep.
And I recognize it. Like a lot of people, like maybe they don't have the ability to even get there because of the kind of like home or like background or I don't know. There's a bunch of different variables that can impact that. But literally they can't because they're not allowed to leave the house. Like some
Mhm.
people live in those lives, man. I'm like, fuck, like that sucks.
Yep.
But how many people are out there that aren't doing that because they are the limiting factor? Shout out Jordan Gisigi, and not like
Mhm.
an outside
Yeah.
force, right?
Force.
Those we should
Yeah.
start with those folks and see
Yep.
if we can maybe inspire others through them to get this
Mhm.
momentum going for the broader public, and then hopefully after a few generations, we can um, allow folks to really embark on the journeys that they really want to embark on.
Well, it definitely sounds like that is something that is near and dear to your heart that you're passionate about, and it's cool to see you approach the world in that way as an example and just say, hey, like it's messy. We're gonna figure it out.
Hmm.
Um, keep putting one foot in front of the other, and I think there's nothing that says that you can't inspire people to do that through your actions, um, the way that you've been doing it. And so
Right.
I enjoy watching that journey and getting to participate in it at whatever small level that I get
Yeah.
to do it. And I think that's a great place maybe for us to wrap up the conversation today.
Sure. Sure.
So
Yeah, man.
yeah.
Thank you so much. Dude, like I don't want to be biased, but this is probably my favorite interview I've done. And I really want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to sort of like explore myself a little bit more and giving me like a different context to which to speak to, maybe a little bit more personal. Thank you for that opportunity for
Mhm.
sure. um yeah, man, and I think you're gonna rock it. I think this is a good very good avenue for you to embark on. And I wish you nothing but the best. And you know, you always have me as a support system. So whatever you need from me, just let me know.
Absolutely, and I think that's one of the things that, just a part of what I appreciate about you so much, but I don't think maybe other people realize how much of an opportunity that there is available. They say that you become the average of the 5 people closest to you, and there's a lot of really cool people in this community, and so if you want to level up your game, come join us. And, we're a bunch of idiots. And so you can come down to our level and become the
Yeah.
average of these
Hell
idiots
yeah.
down here. And we can all try and be idiots and make the world a better place together.
Hell yeah. And hopefully we don't ruin it.
Hopefully not.
Famous last words. No. No, I really appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, it's been such a joy. Like I didn't even know what it was going to turn into. And I think it's given me confidence that, listen, like you just have to, if you feel like you're bringing value, try it, and who knows what can happen. And I've
Hmm.
been so thankful to have gotten to meet you, and obviously, like you've been such an awesome part of the community, and many others as well. Like I don't have to
Hmm.
shout them out, you know exactly who they are. And yeah, I think ultimately, as long as we all are trying to be maximally helpful in the best way that we
Hmm.
can, nothing but good things will happen. It's just the journey can be very difficult and it can be messy, but the end result is what really matters. And keeping your eye on the prize is ultimately what's most important. And as you go through that journey, you'll meet people that are smarter than you, better than you at a lot of things, and so you got to learn from them, and that will only make you better. And over
Hmm.
time, I think that's a winning formula for really changing the world for the better. So, thank you for being part of the community, and thank you for giving me again the opportunity. And yeah, man, this is freaking
Hmm.
awesome. I wish you nothing but the best. I think you're gonna kill it.
Well, and I hope more people take away from this conversation just the power that's available in approaching the world and all the interactions that they have with people from the default place like, man, that's a really cool, interesting person, whether I see it at first or not. And maybe there's something to that. Let's figure it out.
Yeah, let's do it. Thanks, man. Thank you so much.
Cool. All right.
All right.